Every husky owner knows the feeling. You look into those piercing ice-blue eyes and see a glimpse of the ancient Arctic. A noble, wolf-like spirit capable of traversing hundreds of miles of frozen wilderness. But then, in a heartbeat, that majestic predator vanishes. It is replaced by a creature that screams at a piece of broccoli, runs laps around your sofa until it crashes into a wall, or sleeps in a position that seems to defy the laws of canine anatomy. In the digital world, we call this being derpy. To many, it looks like a lack of cognitive coordination, often joked about as having one brain cell. But what if I told you that this clumsiness and comedy are actually a sophisticated mask? Today, we are going to look past the derp and into the DNA. We are exploring the evolutionary dissonance of the Siberian Husky, a high-performance athlete trapped in a modern living room. To understand why Huskies look so derpy, we have to start with their faces. Most domestic dogs have evolved specifically to communicate with us. Over thousands of years, they developed muscles to raise their inner eyebrows, the puppy dog eyes that trigger our nurturing instincts. However, a fascinating study comparing dogs and wolves found a missing link. While most dogs have robust facial muscles for these expressions, the Siberian Husky often lacks the retractor angulae oculolateralis, the muscle that pulls the outer corner of the eye back. This is a trait they share with wolves. This anatomical link gives the husky a more intense or fixed gaze. When you pair that wolf-like intensity with a wide-mouthed play pant or a sudden head tilt, the result is a visual caricature of human surprise. Furthermore, the husky's complex facial markings, their goggles, masks, and patches, actually create a plain face phenomenon in reverse. These markings can obscure the subtle movements of their facial muscles, creating a mismatch between what the dog is feeling and what we see. When a husky is actually focused or playful, their markings might make them look permanently confused or startled. That derpy look isn't a lack of intelligence. It's a byproduct of a face built for the wild, not the camera. Then there's the stubbornness. You tell your husky to sit, and they look at you, let out a defiant moan, and walk the other way.
The sharp gaze of the wolf
To a
matches
casual
the gaze
observer,
of the husky,
this looks
concentrating
like a
on
derpy lack
a
of
toy.
training. But in the science of ethology, this is known as intelligent disobedience. Unlike cooperative breeds like golden retrievers, who were selected to follow constant human cues, huskies are independent working dogs. They were developed by the Chukchi people of Siberia to work in teams where they often had to make split-second decisions without the musher's input. A sled dog that blindly followed a command to run onto thin ice would not survive. Therefore, the breed was selected for the ability to overrule a human command for the safety of the pack.
All right,
When your
boys,
husky
let's keep this
refuses
pace
to
up.
sit
Good
because
dogs.
they've spotted a squirrel, they aren't being dumb. They are assessing their environment and deciding that the squirrel is a higher priority than your treat. This independent drive is fueled by a unique neurobiological profile. Research shows huskies possess significant polymorphisms in their dopamine receptor genes, specifically DRD4 and TH. They have 7 different length variants of the DRD4 gene, more than almost any other breed, including an allele found only in wolves. Short alleles in these genes are linked to high levels of activity and impulsivity. This is the breed's internal work ethic engine. When that engine isn't pulling a sled for 40 miles, it vents through the frantic, unpredictable behaviors we call the zoomies. No discussion of husky derpiness is complete without the noise. They don't just bark, they yodel, groan, woo-woo, and, most famously, scream. This vocal range is a direct evolutionary link to their wolf ancestry. In the Arctic, howling served as a long-distance pack identifier. But why do they talk back to us? Huskies are highly sensitive to the frequencies and rhythms of human speech. The talking you see in viral videos is actually a form of vocal mimicry. While they aren't using language in the human sense, they are attempting interspecific communication. They often use these sounds to negotiate. When you tell a husky to get off the bed and they woo-woo back, they are essentially arguing their case. Scientific opinion is clear. Dogs cannot talk. Their vocalizations are illusions in the hearer. However, because the Husky's signals are so intense and varied, we find them more relatable and funny than the subtle signals of a more stoic breed. The derp is in the ear of the beholder. So, why are Huskies so derpy? Because they are a biological contradiction. They are 99.8% wolf DNA, operating inside a world of TikTok trends and vacuum cleaners. To meet your Husky halfway, you must respect the athlete beneath the comedian. They require 1 to 2 hours of daily exercise and constant mental challenges to stay sane. When they argue, they are looking for social engagement. The derp is not a sign of a broken dog. It is the enduring spirit of the Siberian Arctic, expressed through a heart built for 100-mile runs. So the next time your Husky does something completely ridiculous, just remember, you aren't living with a clown. You're living with an ancient, high-performance survivor whose joy is simply too big for your living room.
Yes, you are.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this scientific deep dive into our favorite Arctic comedians, don't forget to like and subscribe. And tell us in the comments, what's the most derpy thing your Husky has done this week?